still.
Minuses as a whole, right? Like across the board, there have been a lot of
quite a few. Yeah.
I think with the addition of talents into the game now, it makes a lot more sense to kind of push yourself past the level of 16.
Whereas
So
before you're like, oh, I'm 16. I don't
yeah,
care
before
what
it's like
happens.
you wouldn't want to be a higher level because you give up more gold and you give up more experience.
5
give
seconds
up,
remaining.
Death timer, everything. So now it makes sense to get to higher levels because we have such amazing talents at level 20 and level 25 that kind of almost change your hero.
Even those like those level 10 experience gained, like Tusk, for example, I don't really think he's a Midas hero. But when you have plus 40% experience gained, like that Midas looks really good because you just, you just immediately, you get level 10, you have that Midas, you immediately get to level 15, you get 150 extra damage on Snowball. That's still value when you...
Reserve time.
Maybe the talents have changed. We are into the draft. Are we going to see the bans? That's the first question to come to. And
Naga's already gone.
Yeah, and did Newbee attack this? Do they just go, that's not really why?
Vista to leave it.
They're just going to be left.
Naga was the problem because it's the only split pusher in the game that can actually kind of win you the game because it still gives you really good team fight potential. Right. Most of the other split pushers aren't really a thing right now.
It's good that Newbee is kind of isolated. Puts the spoiler on OG complete draft. It makes them change.
Flying the Enigma as easily. He's
10 seconds
actually have to go like Blink Dagger early rather than just Midas into B.
Most likely to see like Centaur or Magnus instead out of S4. The Enigma seems... I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to it later.
I think, yeah.
Newbee's turn to pick.
In which case,
protecting defensive supports? Yes.
Defensive supports. I think Lifestealer is also still very value when you're the Magnus because you're talking about like, okay, you're talking about more melee heroes if you're running a Magnus. And it's also good.
OG's turn to pick.
Lifestealer Mag.
I was going to say we go back to G now, flip round and take the Lifestealer.
Has Noto played a lot of Lifestealer?
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like it's not a hero that they've turned to very much, if at all.
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like it fits his playstyle, but it hasn't been the hero that they picked up. Way more Terrorblades.
Okay. Wow. They're going to lock in the Enigma. They like the Enigma for the first game. Even without the Naga this time around, they go with it. And we're going to see the Monkey King.
The last time that OG did, they basically jungle Jerax was on lane sort of position, just gave. So he actually accelerated quite a bit on a lot of other effective lanes. Slightly different monkey.
I was thinking last game, what if they took Rubik instead of that Lion?
10 seconds
maybe they would have had a little bit more struggle with illusions, and maybe they wouldn't have been able to deal with Storm Spirit quite as well, but it would have solved that kind of like refresher Enigma problem. You know, now Rubik can just steal the Black Hole and Black Hole Enigma, and all of a sudden Enigma's just going to die, most likely.
I think this is one of the rare times viable support. It feels so bad right now, unless you're versus an. I was talking to who was?
I like him.
You still like him?
I've liked him ever since like the addition of talents.
I was telling the story. It was like I was playing a pub against Bulba, and he messaged me afterwards. He was like, "Don't pick Rubik. That hero's bad right now." And I was like, you know, I feel like it's bad.
Maybe he was just putting you down soft.
Maybe, maybe. It's the Rubik. It's not you. It's the Rubik. I swear. But no, it just like feels not very impactful. Like all of these other scaling supports, excluding this point, right, where Rubik is scaling because he's versus an.
You got a level 10 GPM talent. I know it's only 60.
It's only 60.
But I'm telling you,
you might as well take the 50 damage. No.
It makes a difference. You just walk around. You let all your carries farm, and if you die a couple times, you get that Blink Dagger that a lot of position 5s don't really get.
All right, well, I'm going to tell Bulba's a dumbass because I'm not going to argue with
10 seconds.
No. Bulba is a very smart tactician, and I look forward to
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
The obvious who does Newbee get the first pick? Banning.
I think the problem for Newbee is that they can't actually all of the laning phase match up well against Terrorblade, Lifestealer.
Bad with a
Because he's going to have kiting issues, right?
Is that a no-tail hero?
Not really, no.
Another.
I feel like we're just making up no-tail heroes right now.
True.
Oh, come on. He can play a lot of stuff.
But will he?
Probably.
I read somewhere last week he's players in the world heroes played in pro games.
Probably because he's also played a bunch of roles and he's played
he's been here forever. Yeah.
Newbees turn
There's like
to
a certain set of like 8 heroes that are no-tail heroes, and I feel like they've been recycled for about 2 years now, or ever since he switched to carry, which isn't a bad thing.
That's true.
He is very, very good at those.
Oh, just realized that the silencer is banned because they wanted to open Enigma.
That makes sense.
It must mean they're not scared of the Warlock, is what that. I thought silencer the laning. The hero that contributes better to lane than Warlock does, but still counters block.
Yeah, we did see how late game you're just like, okay, I have a refresher and you don't.
Alchemist.
In the previous game, they, what was it, like 3rd or 4th picked Enigma?
Newbees turn
gave
to
them, gave Newbee way less options to kind of counter the Enigma, which is, I think, is worrisome for OG, taking Enigma first 2 and allowing Newbee to really just kind of set up for him.
Yeah, as the game ended, I thought for sure they're going to ban Enigma 2nd phase.
Might have Lifestealer right here for Newbee again.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it against an Enigma?
5
seemed like it had some trouble.
remaining.
It's kind of good, but it also had issues.
It had a little bit of trouble, but I think that they're going to be better prepared for the black hole this game. And Lifestealer was still putting in quite a lot of work. Even like that was against a Naga too. Naga's a tough matchup for Lifestealer.
Yeah. That's why EG were just like first picking it, the day 2 group stage.
Yeah, a lot of teams have first pick in Lifestealer. Carries that you can get away with it, I think.
Oh, they take the Ursa instead.
I like that better. It's a lot more effective at killing Alchemists. Like, Lifestealer's good, but once you have Manta style, you just jump out of open wounds and chase problems. So Ursa can just actually kill within about 2 or 3 stops.
Could be a potential mid matchup as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Played against that.
Gives you
10 seconds remaining.
I saw.
Was not a fun time.
Yeah, you looked
like,
very unhappy.
Level 2 up. Go
5
jungle.
seconds
Time to
remaining.
jungle, guys.
Oh, I'd like that a lot. The mid Ursa, and then put something like hard carry in any safe lane, perhaps Morphling.
I like the Morphling.
Most likely going to see Fly's hero right here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he really likes against Ursa.
Centaur.
Up against, yeah, he's up against Centaur as well. Might be helpful to have a little bit more lockdown.
I didn't do that on purpose, but there it is.
It's a safe pick. They seem to love the hero.
Yep.
They'll have lots more minus. I just feel like the coolest thing about Visage as a hero concept is that if somebody jumps on you near support, okay, they can silence you, they can hex you, but you always have defensiveness with your birds. That's a really nice thing about the hero. So
you can peel for yourself.
It's kind of self-sufficient.
Reserve time.
Also a nice Roshan scouter.
Yeah,
for this
exactly.
Ursa.
That's stuff that OG all likes.
I think, like most of the Chinese teams, whenever they've been dealing with Alchemists, they usually don't like putting pressure on themselves to end the game early and instead just try and scale. But I feel like the Ursa says that, like, we actually are going to try like deal with the Alchemist early, and we're going to actually get a 4 position.
See, there.
I mean, I don't think there was any other carry that could
actually. And it's really smart of them to 4th pick it because it's a very possible ban. They're probably like Jarex is laughing because they probably predicted it, and they were like, okay, we'll ban Warflame.
10 seconds
Newbee,
remaining.
Faith, you got champion, too smart.
5 seconds remaining.
The last 2 bans here. Newbie looking for support. OG is going to be looking for carry.
So Peter, if you're Newbie, do you want a 4 position that kind of roams and puts a lot of pressure on Alchemist early, or do you feel like with the Morphling pickup, you can try and play a little bit more of a scaling game and pick up 4 position scales later?
I think you want to scale later. I think
so
Ursa is going to lay some hands on Alchemist in the mid lane, so Alchemist is going to have to retreat to the jungle very, very early.
You've already got your early game covered between Centaur, Ursa, and Rubik. So what are the best 4 positions that really scale for this game?
I don't know.
Newbies
I don't have an answer for it. There's too many.
They need
too
more
many
lockdowns.
options.
Probably
more
something
lockdown would be
Romish that has lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, Newbie has a ton of options. I think for OG, my one concern for them right now is I think that they have a lot of potential to be rushed down in these team fights.
10 seconds
like
remaining.
If Newbee comes in initiating very, very quickly, their only kind of peel is at Enigma Black Hole, and he might be really forced and rushed to do it, which is going to make peeling Black Hole incredibly easy for Rubik.
Ooh.
OG's turn to pick.
Underrated hero.
Okay.
Alchemist is going to have some real problems in the mid lane now.
Yeah. I don't know if Monkey King can offset that one.
Yeah, Whisper for Monkey King. I was asking for that in the group stage.
Yep. It was touted as a...
Our world
Hey, listen.
Now, and we've got an
Safe
OD
lane
as a
out,
last pick as well. So, very quickly, gents, which way do you like this one, Purge?
I gotta go with OG. I think the fight's pretty good. They can save allies. I like it.
I don't think Newbee will make the same mistakes twice. This time around, they've got the early game lineup that should be able to rush OG. Same mistakes they did in game 1.
Rush down from Newbee. I think they're going to take it. We're going to have a game 3.
All right. Okay. Opinions abound. Obviously, first game was black hole laden. Are we headed for a same second game? Let's find out as we head back to our commentary team of Melini and Toby One.
Well, I do hope, Red, we get to a game 3, mainly because I want to watch these guys play more Dota. Game number 1 was absolutely brilliant, a perfect start to the playoffs for DAC.
Remaining.
Game number 2 comes around. The panel was actually along the same line of thoughts as you, Ben.
Remaining.
It's a Newbee early push kind of style to keep OG down.
They have a problem, though, trying to find the Alchemist, because now they're doing Alchemist safe lane, or Noto will be playing the Alchemist. So how do you actually contest the safe lane? Normally, you deal with Alchemist by pressuring him in lane. Ursa versus Alchemist is a very Ursa-favored matchup. It's great for Ursa, but I don't know if they're going to put Ursa in the off lane. Possibly.
It would seem like one of those risks, but it wouldn't be something unusual to Newbee. Newbee, no strangers to running an aggressive off lane and leaving KP up in the safe lane, but then how does that make all the other matchup work up? And is that really what you want to do, like, with your heroes? Like, you still look at that timing when you can attack directly into OG?
That's what they wanted to do. I think it's going to be similar to last game in that they want to invade the jungle very early on. And I think this game they actually drafted way better against the Black Hole because they have multiple ways to actually prevent the people from dying in case they get Black Hole. They have Relocate out, it's great. Rubik no field is not great, but he can't steal the Black Hole, and Centaur Axe is also pretty decent. So multiple ways. Also, if you go full Agi on Morph, you'll take like 5 damage from Midnight Pulse. Sick.
that's the way to counter. Yep. Obviously, the most strongest late game counter in the game now, Morphling against the Enigma.
And then on the flip side, you have potentially, what, like 3 Midnight Pulses at once? With yeah, you cast Midnight Pulse, you
have the one
cast Black Hole, and then you refresh, and you Midnight Pulse again, and then you Black Hole. Oh my god, there's 3 Midnight Pulses.
You were actually commenting on it during game number 1, the fact that S4 somehow managed to get like 2 Midnight Pulses almost perfectly on top of each other, so you didn't realize you actually had 2 inside that Radiant jungle fight.
Yeah, the cast animation is like, it's very nondescript. It's just, he's just like, you know, does a little wave of his hands. Oh, I'm just going to do this thing that kills all your HP. And it's very good versus the strength-based Centaur. Not so great versus other heroes, though. But life-based damage, those skills.
All right, so Newbee are currently being watched by the Red Paw Courier, which may just happen to be a hero and not just being a courier snipe, but KP will take the room.
The battle begins.
Joys of being 350 move speed courier. Every Monkey King's dream.
Surprisingly, they don't actually do anything to really contest the Centaur. No-Tail didn't go up for the bounty rune. He just sits on bottom lane, trying to body block it up, and actually ended up missing melee creep. So Red Paw, most powerful courier in the game, as we can see right now.
It would be super easy for them to contest. They didn't actually know the lane, so like a Wisp Ursa can easily chase down an Ursa level 1. So they don't want that to happen. Worth sacrificing the bounty rune for that. So they will aggro, but not with the Ursa. Ursa will be one-on-one versus the Enigma up top, and they currently have the Rubik and the Wisp down here to contest Flying Company.
And that's some really good warning down from Newbee too. So the sentry would have blocked the camp there. Observer ward they placed, they did under the cover of smoke. Ooh. So even though OG had their own observer ward there, they don't actually know that Newbee got their own down.
One of the things I like most about No-Tail is he's not greedy. A lot of carry players are greedy, like go Midas whenever they can. This guy gets as a spray at level 1 because he knows he's getting contested. How great is that?
You got to zone him out.
You got to win the lane. If you don't win the lane, you're just going to be stuck trying to catch up all game. And he's trying his best to actually win the lane. So not scaling up bounty at level 1, sometimes completely necessary when you expect this from the draft from Newbee.
So who do you actually like Newbee are running this IO as well as Rubik. Now, Rubik has been renowned for not having as much effect unless it's with like a Juggernaut spin kind of combination, so his teleport doesn't do as much until he hits a higher level. So you get that that level 2 Fade Bolt to do some work. How does that really match up against a hero like the Monkey King, for example, who's going to just be bouncing around all the time? Fly, who also needs to have his earlier levels.
Well, I don't think Monkey King is that great on try because you can't. You're great again in like 2-on-1 situations because you can just one-on-one versus a Lawfully or Jingu Master crushes that. But you can't actually right-click that off here. His armor's really, really low. He's going to be trading a lot of right-click versus these heroes, and then you have to worry about the lift and the stomp. So Rubik doesn't do that much damage on his own, but when you pair it with Hook Stomp and Double Edge, things can get real rough real fast.
And this top lane matchup should be easy enough for the Ursa, even though obviously Enigma's going to be taking a lot of experience off the lane.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Getting a range creep denied.
But you can't even like zone him out. Like you want to run at him with phase boots, you go for a quick clap. It's not going to do much because then the Enigma goes down, triple try, and then bumps up over on the tree lines.
I don't think that was intentional. Actually, he got a self. He kept the self going. That was the potential. For some reason, I thought he was trying to set up with the Monkey King, but what are you going to do with level 1 Monkey King? Nothing.
And it's not had the easiest time to start with. He was actually trying to last hit underneath this tower, and the only levels that was almost impossible for him. So we actually watched him miss like 2 or 3 last hits into a tower before.
Yeah, SCCs do very well on lane. Normally you'll see Wiz paired with Morphling in the mid lane because they wanted the Wiz in the off lane. It's going to make the mid lane way weaker, but Morphling 1-on-1 is not the best.
Bottom lane, there's the first blood as Fly will be brought down by Newbee. Hook stomped and controlled.
Man, the lights in the arena are going crazy. First blood for Newbee, everything's shining blue.
China #1! That's what it's all about.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe they're gonna like do it on stream, just like blue flag. I want to kind of check out the Chinese stream because of that.
Just the crowd, man. Just the crowd. All right, so
Rubik still has really good CS. 17 and 11. Fly is just like, yeah, I'm gonna get more XP in the jungle, but look at Ursa get off to a really good start.
It's the trade-off there, right? Like, it's the fact the Alchemist is going to get some farm down the bottom lane. So his money is going to start to roll in. Yeah, you've still got KP getting some good levels, but it's the trade-off. So both off-laners are getting really what they want. Jirax now going to jump in. They do have that slow on the KP. KP needs to try and stop create a little bit more space, but it just won't work. Soul Contra from Fly, the damage is just too much. And Jirax is going to beat through Fate a little bit harder. Can't get the full stacks up, and they will get the kill on the offlane. So offlane's getting everything they want apart from the death on KP.
Pretty greedy play from Fate. You're trying to lift the Visage so he didn't catch soul something, but he was already dead by this. Like, it was almost already dead by the time he lifted. Maybe lifting the melee and stunning one of them would have maybe saved Centaur. He could have at least fogged on the right side.
There's that IO combination you're talking about, just slipping into mid.
Yeah, it's not a lane that Morphling should win on his own at all. So they definitely need the backup from him. So Morphling doesn't have to invest as much in regeneration and CS. He's actually beating the OD in CS.
Here we go again. Pick up, throw back down, Hook double edge. Is there enough damage? The Alpha still fighting on his own hands. Spray, but there's not damage from KP. Face will lose his life. Even if he didn't die to fly, then Jirax was pouncing in through the rear. And it's KP who is now on the run. Needs to get back to the shrine, which will be able to do so. And the Tranquil Boots can do the heal unless he wants to be a little bit quicker and just try and trick them.
They're still losing a lot despite that's
real trouble for him. S4's going to fall down. Io, great rotation, and you don't see the ball actually. This blue cloud around him, but the convergence almost killing him off. He's getting back to the tower, but Kaka, he'll tether back down again. He knows he's okay. And not getting the extra bump.
Did he get the bottle refill on top?
Yeah, he did.
That's tough. That's another life for them. Ooh, immediate smoke afterwards. So it looks like a similar build coming up from Enigma. The Arcane early. I wonder if he goes for Greaves this game. Probably not. I don't really see anything for Greaves off. And I don't think they're going to be 5-manning that much because of the Alchemist.
He'll probably only do it if he had to like be more efficient on his item slots. because he's still using the main carrier, right? Like, unless guys don't do that work. Waveform, middle lane, Hannah in the 3-on-1 at the moment. There's no real support. Courier was coming in with something, but it's already too late.
That bottom wave actually made a big deal there because you don't expect the Wisp to be topped off. And Wisp isn't going to tether in with like 200 HP, he would just die.
Is under attack.
So that was a big play by the Rubik coming in there. And they will secure themselves a 6 minutes rune. They are going double bottle too. I see some core players and Wisp players that are really against the double bottle in the mid lane if you have a Wisp. But I think on morphling it makes a lot of sense because when you're agi-morphing in base, it just takes you forever to heal up. That's such a nuisance when you play morphling, is just healing the base after.
Care about his life when he goes to waveforms like that, just posturing against Ana. The full tri lane's back on bottom lane for Newbee again, and this is when Monkey King has actually left in the lane, so Ana's just abandoned and gone into the jungle, and it's Monkey King who's trying to hide in the tree lines to the right of the safe lane. Needs some experience, he really wants to find the farm, however, so he can at least finish up some phase boots, but Newbee understand there's only one hero down there, it's just a support hero, and the perfect Radiant scan. Faith and Kaka are moving over. It's a little bit earlier than the 8-minute rune, but this is forcing a rotation to come in, and as Jirax, ETP's off the bottom lane, jumps further down. Remember, there's still no bounty rune to fight over the top off. With Fly rotating in, they can potentially pick up one of these supports. They turn their attention towards Kaka. With the stun and Soul Assumption, Kaka will be punished.
Maybe too predictable by Newbee, doing exactly the same move that they did last game. Smoke into the jungle, place wards, and then try and get a gank during nighttime.
Their advantage is the ward circle, which went down from OGs in the wrong spot. Their thinking is over on the cliff side, but it's actually watching the bounty rune, so their sentry wards can be misplaced.
Radiant's bottom
Oh, here they go again. Waveform forward, no towel, picked up, wants to go with a run. They have it out as well, they have enough damage. It's SC who will take the kill. Sentry ward was placed just a little bit too late. So they understand the observer ward is there, but the damage is done. The Alchemist is down.
They'll have to stampede pretty soon too, so they can keep up the pressure on the Alchemist. Morphling doing very well in terms of CS, still above the OD. Ursa, wondering when he's going to start making moves.
Make a break for the trees, Jirax. KP's trying to cut his way through. If he can quality play down the tree, he'll do it. Where the Wisp Spirit falls, trying to reveal, having to go deeper, just bouncy.
You know, I was looking at Dota, and I think Wisp has one of the highest win rates versus Monkey King. And I think a lot of it is because of the tree breaking and the flying vision that he reveals, not really flying vision, but vision that he reveals with the falls if he hits the hero.
Yep.
But, I mean, if you had a theory craft monkey counters, you would pretty much never think of it.
Well, the first ones which were coming up was was it Beastmaster? You get the Flying Hawk, you get unobstructed vision from Night Stalker or Coddle. Yeah, Coddle was probably one of the more common pickups we saw against him during the group stage.
A lot of Night Stalker, Bat Rider, Timber, those are the ones that normally people think of to kill the trees, but Wisp is not one that really comes to mind. But Wisp apparently he's really good.
Tournament. I don't know if how many times it's been picked in this tournament, but I think this was one of the first ones I've seen.
I like the Wisp pickup here a lot though, because it allows them to keep pressing the Alchemist without having to back off. Like you want to be able to keep a constant pressure, get a kill, whatever, heal up, and then keep going again. It's also pretty good at dealing with acid spray too when you're trying to see the towers. Sustain's a very big issue when you're getting blue without acid spray. And
they're coming for another kill. It's going to be Jirax, pick him up with a touch of the space, dragging him back in. Jirax with a 3-man stun. Very fire, we're not allowed to survive, however. Ancients are making life a little bit more difficult to get out of here. Kaka has turned it back off cooldown, but he's not a healthy chappy.
These wards are all up in OG's jungle. Look at this. One on the shrine on the left side, one checking out the camp on the left, and one on the shrine on the right. So they have very good coverage on what they are trying to do. OG.
Yeah. Thanks to that observer ward, they saw Jirax jumping towards Roshan. The Newbee will back out just quickly.
Their Roach contest is actually really poor. They don't have Midnight Pulse skilled yet on the Enigma, so they don't actually have enough damage to potentially deal with Roach.
It's that straight up stun, the 4-4-0-1.
4-4-0
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe
at 1 point, right?
Usually, just to break trees, but maybe he doesn't want to break trees because of the Monkey King.
Yeah, he actually works against his own team if he does that.
So they find their rewards, and that's pretty good for them. They need to be able to flush Newbee out of the jungle. Because he just doesn't want... Okay, yeah. There he goes.
Yeah, and the ward further to the north actually timed out. So the only remaining aggressive ward here, Newbee, is the one that's down the shrine. That doesn't help them when they're trying to go for Roshan.
What's U9's build? Vlad's rush. Okay.
Well, if you are going to try and run as an OG and try and keep the pressure down, a lot of his orange are going to help you with that.
Sometimes blink, however, because the Centaur was in a try-on-try, so a lot of his XP and farm is going to be taken up. It looks like he's actually still going to blink at a very good timing. 12 minutes if he doesn't die.
And at the moment, OG is too busy looking towards Roshan, so KP's got a lot of space on the top lane.
Yep.
Even Rubik is able to farm, and like he's halfway down through the bottom lane, farming that.
How's our Alks items? I know he's going for Armlet earlier, but I assume he's going to go for Radiance after.
Yeah, he's going to standard. Nothing unusual for Notal. The only thing unusual is just the lane switch up. Anna's a little bit behind, which isn't too terrific, but he's only 600 behind the Morphling.
There's Midas.
So
he can also get pulled in eggs.
He can also be pulled in eggs. No, he cannot. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to an OG.
Set it up for a black hole. Oh.
Actually, yeah, that's actually one of the very rare situations where an Ags and an OD is something you do want.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
It just seems so odd just like delaying the game with the imprisonments.
Think of the stats, Toby.
Dire's middle tower is under
intelligence.
attack.
Think of the hero you want to try and focus down. Don't give them time to get abilities back off cooldown.
Oh man, Black Hole and Monkey King ult, that's nasty.
That's when you wait for Leo was already doing the work. Taka got it nice and early.
The Wisps are actually pretty good at preventing and numbing the trees too.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Really good maneuvering. Top lane, Castle returns up here. The Observer Ward's down. Notal, that's great. Would love to get this kill if he can. Solo something to reply. It still doesn't do the work. End up surviving the hook's on from KP. He reveals the Blink Dagger.
Whole team's here.
Yep, pretty much.
Rubik's 6 now, so they have to be very careful.
Morphling's rotating up. Monkey King's trying to get here. He TP'd over towards the shrines. It's going to be our first big 5-on-5 engagement. Stampede is not available at the moment for Newbee, so be careful about that. But when you kill off one of the familiars, that's a good start. Barbie forced to resummon already. Monkey King is trading up into the rear. S4, they're going to actually defensively improve it at the moment. Unless that actually belongs to the face. They pick him up. They're tossing around like a rock. They're going to try to screen with his face. S4, the black hole is stolen by the Rubik. He doesn't survive long enough to use it. However, Nine is left on the front line, trying to just man-mode this up. And he won't be able to. The imprisonment keeps him out of the fight. And OG do not want any part of this. There's farm on bottom lane, there's farm on mid lane. There's no reason to keep this battle going.
Very risky black hole by S4. He was on a sliver. I really like Derek losing that fight. He was like off to the southeast. They were trying to approach slowly the other trees. It looked like they were hitting familiars, but they were really looking for the Monkey King that fight. But they couldn't find him, and he was able to get his ult off. He just died immediately after 2 Earth.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So it might be roach time now. Black hole's down. Wukong's command is down. Should be pretty happy about this.
Oh, and he gets for the familiars as well as even bigger. There's no resummon, and you have to ping out the fact the Observer was there. It's already been spotted, so Newbee a little bit dark. They don't understand exactly where that Observer was. It's just north. The pit is seeing a fair amount, but Jirex can't get close enough to the pit to really challenge that, just throwing his own life away. So they have to let it go. And Newbee just tried a 15-minute mark will claim the first Roshan.
Very hard for OG to stop the roach, so like, what are you going to do, not use Black Hole? And then he just split pushes and farms and takes fights outside, but as soon as you use Black Hole, they just go inside a Roche. So kind of lose-lose for OG there, but they do have the Alchemist. That is the crux of their strategy.
Yep, he's rapidly approaching that radius. US Mystic Collective item also appeared on the Earth, and so his Blink Dagger is now up and running. Combining up with the Vlad and the Aegis. It's very easy for Newbee to go full-on aggressive now.
I don't think that's going to be able to shut down the Radiance timing, though. I don't really think they cared that much about the Radiance because of the Morphling pick, too. You can always just
it turns against the Arcanum.
The OD is actually really good at dealing with it, though. I think OD is one of the best heroes at dealing with Morphling Elude. Doesn't have a built-in Hex, but he's one of the best cores to do so.
Because of his orb?
Yeah, the orb. 2-3 shots. The Alpha thing doesn't have that much HP, and it just has a lot of regen, so it's really sensible to burst.
rotation in from behind on the top lane as Monkey King pounce up. KP, well, they kind of knew Jirax was there, as Jirax will pounce in a little bit deeper for the tier 1 tower is already gone. The conversions for S4 were doing the work. Tier 1 tower is lost.
Radiant's
first
bottom
on the
tower
Rubik,
is under attack.
so he wants to, oh sorry, on the Enigma, deal with the Rubik.
Probably the only way to stop it is with the strike. Oh, is there anything else that can really trigger it though, actually?
Okay, that's strike.
Okay. Because the Morphling is probably not going to be sitting there going, I have to adapt to the Enigma.
That's good.
Radiant structures
The Bob is
are
linked to stop a
fortified.
black hole. The thing about the Rubik though is he
Jirax preparing to pounce the stun and the ultimate. Lukaku is not a healthy man. Unai will be able to run out of range of it, however. But it keeps him away from the tier 1 tower and you expand an MK ulti.
the way the soldiers spawn, or Kingsguard, whatever you want to call it, so they actually just cleared an easy path for the Whistle to walk out.
Radiant's
Usually
middle
you're
tower
really
is
hard
under
pressed to
attack.
find a way to walk out without getting slammed by those.
I love that you're in my terminology on the grid stage. The Kingsguard. There goes tier 1
Radiant's
tower,
middle
Unai
tower
able to
has
claim
fallen.
that. So more and more map control being opened up for Newbee as they basically make OG's jungle a lot more difficult to move into.
Something they weren't able to do last game, Newbee, is
SC saw that. SC most definitely saw that.
there's no way to cut down trees on tether.
Well, that's why Io's on the way up. He'll tether forward, but already he's a slippery little monkey. Thanks, Jack.
Might be time to get a quelling on more. I think he has slots. He didn't go for bright
It's
Dyer's
not the
middle
craziest
tower is
idea.
under attack.
It's definitely not.
Radiant structures are fortified.
He doesn't have the blight.
He's still trying to finish up his own Lincoln Spear. But Monkey King ready to fight up on the top. You don't have his
Radiant's top
ultimate
tower
available.
is
However,
under
Kingsguard currently on for Coco. As SC stunned up under the tower. Rebels will end up taking him. Monkey King actually got dropped by, I think he actually got dropped by S4. He midnight pulsed the trees and Monkey King hit the ground. So he clipped him on the side. Meanwhile, Anna gets ripped apart by 3 heroes in the mid. Stampede to get him in range, and now 40 seconds without the OD.
That was a really good replicate out though. It looked like it was right about the black hole. Could have been a whip too. But he's slippery, that one.
Some more.
How's our Wisp doing in terms of items? Isn't that worth surprisingly high? 4,300 is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, he's been involved in everything. His own's been able to actually pick up some of the kills as well.
Radiant's bottom
So
tower
looks
is
like
under attack.
maybe aren't able to get that much accomplished between the OG. Something that they want to prevent is fighting into their type of many items last game.
Concoction will fly. Obviously, KP can't dodge it, but he can at least get back into a safer location.
Garrett can't find a good place to stand in the fights. He's always a little bit scared.
He's getting caught out. Okay, now that helps him when he sees KP. KP doesn't have any idea exactly where the Monkey King is, but he can probably assume that someone, that Jirax is the priest somewhere around there. Jirax is having to keep his little bit more of a distance, so more than likely, just put down the circle on top of the tower, make it difficult for Newbee to try and fight this one, but Unai is ripping apart the tower, and the Alchemist also got copied. They need to bring in OD, they need to bring in Enigma, but it all too late. OD is not in position to fight this, so Newbee will get the free tier 2.
Something I really like that Sumail did was turn off his radiance whenever he thinks he's about to get replicated. He didn't that time. I was watching his toggle, but I think it's very important that you don't give him the radiance off on the illusion.
Will follow up here, but at least he baits out the Stampede.
Radiant.
It burns. It burns. We'll take that. And it's not even belonging to you.
Net worth lead. I don't even think that Radiant earns net worth lead, which is never good if we have an out. 3,000.
Now they're going to try and change it around. The smoke maneuver up, but what have they got which really makes this fight more possible? Like,
dragging out the game isn't that bad though, because they're versus Ursa. Ursa,
they have vision.
peters off a little bit.
That's actually a really good observer wood up near the tier 2 tower. So it knows that Faith is alone. And it'll also be able to work out the fact that Morphling is up there. The replicate just would have timed out because he took it for the Aegon, for the Alchemist. So they want to try and bring him down. So what out of place, Faith instantly popped NG. They know he's the now. This game destroys Morphling. But then the black hole transform. He'll come back out of the intrusion eventually into the control. Or maybe not. The Monkey King opens it down. And he's trying to run the corner. He's down. tie-in with the equipment. Fate will be now to think about this a little bit longer. And now on Prismatic Pavilion, stomp down twice, create more space, and it's getting stronger. It's the pass to be played with a great hostile. Hopefully your way through this, but it won't be enough. The concoction will fly out. And what if you've got a familiar on the back line? It's defensive imprisonment. The familiar can't hit the ground, and Fate will survive on 58p in front of his team.
Wow, that was such a tough call to buy back Rubik. He was at 1900 gold before. He died, and then he's like, oh man, if I die and this fight goes poorly, I'm never going to get my blink. But he buys back. He steals a pretty important spell in Insanity's Eclipse, and another misfire by OG in the team fight. Oh, looks like KP is a little bit in trouble here.
Yeah, until U9 goes right now. T-Rex is in trouble. You got 3-1 charges, tries to dodge it by becoming Bar.
That Astral during the black hole, though, that just made them take way too long to kill the Morphling.
Yep. That definitely didn't seem like the perfect lacquer of abilities.
They had the Ghost Scepter on, though. I was actually surprised they were able to get that out.
So you got to jump again on U9. Anna now with a 4-star force, the imprisonment alive. And they nicely hold the Ursa in position. The Enrage will only delay the damage. Now he'll break through with 24 intelligence stolen. That is one dumb bear. 300 mana pool to work with, and Anna, one more AWP will do the work. And that's a big one for him to take. Over 500 gone for that one kill. Now on bottom lane, S4's on the run. The Stampede trying to reduce the distance, so S4 will turn a quick midnight pass will hold him there. Buying time for Jirak to arrive. S4 will put the trigger in. With the biggest trigger as well. He doesn't have enough life to survive this, but he makes Newbee work for it.
I love that play by S4. He's like, I'm going to black hole you. And then he didn't have enough. But they got scared. They were like, it's just a natural reaction when Enigma turns around like that. You're like, oh god, like, he's going to black hole me. Like,
wait, do we remember the timing? Let me check the clock.
It was still a minute up, but he feigned it. I like that. That was good.
Oh, fantastic play from the boys, and you see Alchemist is #1 on network once again. The Enigma is also starting to skyrocket. Same with that kill for the OGs. They're getting back to protecting the top 3 networks, which, same in Game 1, Newbee were always sitting that little bit further ahead. Obviously, Game 1 was a different story because the split push battle that came from OG was a lot stronger. But you do still have elements of that coming in from the Alchemist.
Thursday was able to buy his Devo before he died, so no gold loss for him. And Roche wasn't up. I think OG had to be able to stop the Roches. Earth has a lot of trouble scaling if he doesn't get the Aegis. If he gets the Aegis, you know, he has a lot more wiggle room. He doesn't have to buy BKB and defensive items and whatnot. He can kill a lot more people, but once you force him to actually build defensive items and not get kited, he's a lot more trouble.
Well, as we can see, thanks to the awesome PGL, a little simple, as well as the pop-up that came up, Roshan is now only about 45 seconds away from spawning.
And the DD. That's fun. So, what ways do they have
DD will wear out before it, though. It's just going to wear out by the time Roshan spawns.
I don't think that OG are going to know Roshan spawns, though. That's a big problem.
Yeah,
Monkey King can't get close to the pit because they've been scouting for him constantly, and the familiar constantly die. They don't have Manta yet on the Alchemist, so no illusion of free scouting for him.
And all their observer wards are in the lanes. Like you actually look at the lanes on both of the safe lanes in the middle. That's where you find the Radiant Ops.
It looks like they're grouping up for a smoke, though.
Yeah, I think they understand they have to move in themselves, but they can't take Roshan, right? Like, you're not going to steal it.
They have to just catch him at the right time. Oh, with the BOTs out, actually, was that scouted by the observer?
Radiant's
I'm not
top
actually
tower
sure. If
is
they
under
see that, they might
attack.
be like, well, they don't have to.
Radiant's top tower
I
is
know.
falling.
He BOT'd in the lane from mid, and it looks like
Yeah,
there is.
they're pushing.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But they're still losing their positioning. Yeah, you got the shrine to go to, but you've just lost your tier 1, your tier 2 down to the The first thing to find on bottom lane is probably going to end up with the tier 1 being the trade-off.
Dire's bottom tower
And
is under
Newbee, I was
attack.
actually interested to see like what they would do if they just go
Radiant's
directly to
top tower
Roshan. There's
is under
one
attack.
TP that goes back to mid lane, and that was the Morphling, and yeah, Eartha, he's going in.
Who cares about that T1?
Yeah, you really don't.
And they have the EB up on both. So you mentioned like the Lincoln's being popped on the Enigma. That's a lot of damage coming out. He's gonna be fat. They're actually making a play without the Morphling. Morphling hasted on his own. Is he gonna be able to get a solo kill?
Hey, if you can only see the Monkey King. Olivia Jirak's going to contend to count him down to get the last hit in the tower. No, he won't. He'll let it go. Decent amount of money to get denied up by SC. On top of that, now they get the bonuses from Roshan.
We'll take that.
Newbee are in a really good position to fight.
Yeah, they can easily tank Black Hole too with the Aegis, or relocate out, or just morph link, strength morphing. There's a lot of ways for them to deal with it.
Rubik if they can trigger it. Yeah. There's a lot of options for Newbee in this draft against OG.
They have really good burst now for the Alchemist too. Like, you want to be able to kill him just like, you know, a couple of seconds. Even Ursa with the Desert can kill him now. The Morphling can also kill him very quickly.
Can you actually pop him quickly? Because those abilities don't seem to synergize too well. Like you E-Blade pop, you've then got, what,
I think it's one or the other is fine. And then they can just like so down, finish them off. They don't have a save for it. Actually, Astral's a pretty good save. Yeah. So he turns off his Radiance, that's nice. You actually want to turn it off for your Mantle Illusion too sometimes, so he doesn't roll your Mantle Illusion. So this matchup's just not terribly great for the Owl.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Monkey King was able to escape a small little battle there with the Rubik at the bottom lane, but it's the mid lane when he's under the tower. Could get Malphite stunned up. Has to enrage early. The Impressible will hold him there and don't tell. Well, no extra stuff to arrive, but U9 keeping right so quickly. Kaka has to actually trigger up mech to get him out of safety, but just puts space in a very awkward spot. S4 as well as Fly catch him out. And then the relocate, bringing the Iron so much closer back. Kaka will fall as well. This is meant to be Newbee's time to shine, but OG takes the engagement by bringing down both the supports.
U9 is not the tower hitter. They need SECC to hit the towers. Ursa is just devastatingly poor at hitting towers. You can only hit towers. But like, get ready to fight again.
He survived though. The extra stuns will be there from Jira. Wondering if the audience in position as well. Don't drop down by the Grace. Now your Black Hole will come out. All of the Centaur. Usually will throw the ulti out as well. So time to come back into the fight. That Ursa is a goner. 1 minute on the sidelines. No buyback available for U9. And OG now taking back-to-back engagements.
So actually one of those games where you have to play a little bit slower as Ursa. I think U9 just really wanted to fight with the Aegis, and he thought that hitting the tower mid would force a come out, and it surely did, but it put his team in way too compromising position. Without the Wisp, it was just easy Black Hole for them. So yeah, then now they have multiple tools to kite. You can Atos him to force him to enrage, and then just Astral him immediately after. Great Black Hole by S4. There's nothing really that Newbee can do at that point. At least they don't lose STCC. So now Ursa's effectiveness in this game is going to be minimal from this point onward, I think, because he's just going to be kited constantly. And now they have to rely on the Morphling a lot more than they would like to.
Can't believe Fly was actually able to TP himself out of that. He found the smallest little tree to get out of.
It's hard to kill Visage. Shotgun doesn't do that much.
When he's sitting on sub 50 HP though, and you focus everything you've got to stop the engagement at the front line.
The only way of getting good vision though is the Wisp. The Wisp was dead at that point. And his spirits are really good at getting vision, but they couldn't find him.
Also OG working for them. The Alchemist up on top. Newbee not really finding that nice powerhouse they were looking for just yet. And we start asking ourselves the question, where's these critical items that come in from Newbee to help them gain control in these fights? Because No Tail's progressing pretty damn quickly. He's got the casual plate man for now, but he's working his way in towards that Octarine.
I think they need BKB on Ursa. Probably the best way for them to deal with the fights.
It was in his quick buy before.
He has to get BKB or else the OD will kite him non-stop. It's just too problematic playing against these items. The Atos and the Force Staff and the Astral. You can't get enrage. You can't get Astral during enrage. If you do that, you're just useless afterwards. You can't blink out. You don't have any defensive ability, and you're definitely not going to be hitting anyone because you're just going to die.
KP, silent, hugging the trees, and Monkey King pounced around him but didn't see him. If Jirok jumps up now, we need to jump to the left side to actually see him. He's guessing. He's guessing KP is somewhere there, but he can't smell the Centaur in the trees.
They're just trying to set up a relocate, but that's going to be a disaster because the thing was there with Black Hole. That's a no-go.
Oh, the TP to the tower, as I said. Okay.
He has a Observer behind though.
KP, does he? There's a lot coming up. The Observer is behind, but Newbee finds a better angle to approach into. They go for the familiars, both guns will connect. And Hope he never can converts, just kill him, but he finds the Monkey King, explodes him with a shotgun, and Face looking to bring in the powers of Monkey King. The Rubik, obviously the master of all abilities, but KP, the master of the double hook shot. Can he get back? With that BKB, bursting NoTel, he's the critical kill. The most does grab from Face will allow him to do so. So NoTel will fall. Flyers on the run, the TP out from OG. They'll be successful thanks to the space created by the civilians. Newbee will have to camp these up and bring them down. That's exactly what they want. There's no respawn for them as well.
What a great flank by Newbee. Being able to approach from like the east and the south at the same time just made it impossible for S4 to black hole. He had a great midnight pulse, but Ursa just raised on his BKB, and with those, you don't actually have a good way to deal with BKBs except for black hole. That's the only way they can actually fight into it unless they just want to run away, which is not going to be easy. Not a good hunt to give up for OG. I don't actually know how they win the team fights. Is it all on the black hole? I guess they can also just rely on the OG stealing a lot of himself.
Well, this definitely helps. TP out, there's KP, the principal cancel that TP. And now the one probably hits one more punch. Two times, he tries to fight it.
Regicide?
But that won't be enough to survive.
Kickoff like this just lead to worse and worse things because OD has plus 24 int from this fight. Extra, what, 200 damage on everyone in the sanities.
Yep. And each time, like, OD gets closer and closer towards level 25, you maintain the ability to hold on to that intel even longer.
Roshan gonna respawn soon.
Yeah, judging by our time, and we're still looking at a good another 2, maybe 3 minutes before he's up.
Black Hole's still not used yet. Now Alchemist has most of the items that he needs. They need to be able to find a Wisp from the team fight. And the Alpha Illusions and the Familiars are going to be doing an important job of scouting. Who's Ursa's main target, though? Ursa?
In the last fight, it was definitely Alchemist he wanted. And he committed everything to bring him down. But maybe it is worthwhile switching your targets towards the OD. Because how much? But then again, who's doing more work? And you've got to fear the OD going into the later part of the fight if you're not focusing him at the start. Because his intel's going to increase and increase.
They have to kite the BKBs on OG. I think that's the most important thing. If they can kite both BKBs, the Morphling and the Ursa, they can actually turn around with the fight. But if they don't, then they're going to lose 1 or 2 cores during that fight, or the Enigma.
So you're happy to let the start of the fight go because OD can't steal the intel from the core.
Well, if you can get a big back roll, you saw the fight, but I don't think they're going to be able to do so. They're having a lot of trouble just getting a jump.
They saw the bucket kick. Face slapped it down. We'll just drag him back up again. So he was exploded before the last fight began. And now he'll go down for 43 seconds. And this is when Roshan's up at about a minute time.
Really good warding, though, by Newbee. With Monkey King, he's been dying a lot. He died in that top T2 fight immediately after he casted his ultimate. Newbee is doing a fantastic job of just annihilating him at the start of the fight. They don't even have to commit that many spells to him, too. It's like a, you know, an EV, maybe a blink and an overpower. The Ursa. Nothing huge.
Well, he's not tanky. It's the downside, right, of the Monkey King. If he can't survive, he can't keep his ulti down. Compared to other heroes like the Earth Spirit, which Newbee banned out in the first phase of this game.
Centaur's going for hard again over to Scepter. So Scepter really good, I would say, for multiple reasons. Not only damage running, you can actually run over the freeze too.
Get out of there, Faith. He'll blink up. Wow. His observer was saw it coming. He knew what was happening, but the stuns are coming the way. Roshan's up. I think it's like a 9-10 not going to be enough for Faith, even with a 3-man stun.
Still a smoke pop for a Rubik kill.
Yeah, but
like
it lets him have Roshan while Rubik is down.
Fly is inside the pit.
Yeah. Roshan just caught that. Mass pings coming out from the Rubik. He knows. He knows what's going on. MC gonna jump himself down, wait for it in. How much damage are you going to do? Maybe help up here. It's a great ult with the double touch. Newbee the rest is moving out with the left end. Correct. The positioning here. That's he killed him at 4. He never got the black hole off. And you're 9 once more. The Familiar comes down. But now with all that intel done, 28 points for 2. Just rolling down. So you're 9 is still up and standing. Maybe not much longer. The orb will miss uphill. But still the Familiars there doing the work. Plus the extra illusions of the Alchemist.
Wow.
A triple kill for Ana. But Faith is back to the world of the living. Not sure what he can do, but it's enough. Maybe push OG away from the pin.
That was ridiculous amount of damage for SMEs. Oh my god. 18 hits with Arcane Orb.
Damage out. Let's see it again. You can see it brewing. Like S4 lets this one rip it out. It's like, okay, I'm still good. I'm still good.
I really like the item choice of the Atos though. It makes his life a lot easier. It prevents the Morphling from being able to waveform, and that's just so many seconds.
He had 32 when he flipped wrong.
It's crazy how many damage he did that fight.
So OG, they are going to go for Roshan. No one from Ruby's going to buy back into this. They just have to let it happen. There's nothing Ruby can do to stop them, even with their good vision. To the south and the east, the pit wasn't enough for the fight. They really needed that stampede.
Yeah. I actually think Axel right now
Faith is actually Midnight Pulse plus the stun. You get another kill over on the Rubik. Faith multiple times being picked off, but now with OG having an Aegis the model, they can push up the mid and do quite a significant amount of damage.
I like how they just ignore Ana in a lot of these fights. That's how it seems to be. You focus on Ana in the early game, and in the later game, he just does whatever he wants. His positioning's also just been incredible, though. Like, he was on the high ground, protected by the Enigma Black Hole, however brief. The threat of it was still big enough so that no one actually approached.
Oh, Target is a 10 target. He's got one. Coming back towards the mid. That tier 2 tower is toast, and it's really up to Newbee now. They have to tighten the ship. There's to be too many slide pickoffs that OG have managed to get. The Morphling needs time to be more powerful as well. So far, I haven't really felt his influence. Has been more looking towards the Ursa. And the Ursa's still sitting at the 5th highest net worth on the field.
It's a big problem because both of them had to build BKBs, whereas nobody on OG does. So they're doing a lot more damage in the fights. That's BKB and Lincoln. Impossible to stack Black Hole.
Love how, too, like, you hold to your BTs over keeping your armlet. Traded out his armlet for the cheese on no-tell. Well, that's a nice little start for Ruben coming into this fight. Able to steal chemical raid. Able to slow down the pressure.
Radiant structures.
Tier 3 tower still taking good damage. So they're coming back. Mid lane was where there's a little bit more push being applied by the Morphling. Enough to make OG retreat. So Newbee not forced into a heavy engagement. But Unite would love to have one. G-Rex has to go through a quick step, comes over towards the tree line. Stampede giving him the movement speed. G-Rex TPing out, and Newbee can't work out where.
Life of an Ursa. You always want to fight. No one wants to fight you until like 40 minutes in, and then you just get kind of constant.
That's another Stampede down though. Another one. Like, it's going to take not that long for it to come off cooldown.
Okay, he didn't get hurt, thank God. Definitely need a Scepter. Scepter is the only way to deal with Black Hole, and it's great at killing Monkey King. You run over trees, knock the trees down, kill him. Because he's always up in the cliff area and whatnot. And he needs to be able to protect the Morphling of the Earth because they're doing way more damage than he is. If you get Heart as a Centaur, you're just pretty much giving the OD more in. And he's happy to trade like Return is. Return is not terribly great here at all. I guess it kills the birds, but birds are probably the least of your concerns.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tier 2 tower's going to now go down, so Newbee, they want to defend their base, but they're already doing the prep work. The bottom lane's pushing in quite nicely. The mid lane's being pressured by the IO, even though Visage Familiars are making that a little bit more difficult. And the Monkey King, a great observer, sitting inside the base. They see Fate, and potentially Durex is just off with a very quick shove of Fate. The Rubik a little bit more difficult to kill off. And SC also returns to the fight.
They could set up with a big blink Black Hole, but if they slightly misstep or if like Wiz is tethering and shrining up at the same time, people are just not going to die. I think it's super risky to fight inside the base close to the shrines.
That observer will get scattered out. As Monkey King pounced it away, Newbee instantly pinged, so they understand that wall sitting. I think they understand the wall sitting on the top side of the base. Either that, or they just thought, hey, Monkey King's there.
I think they're just pinging out Monkey King so they can get some more split foot pressure on the map.
Alright, 25 gold for the Aghanims over on Centaur.
Ooh, Ag's up on Rubik.
So, Ag's Rubik. lot of negation now of the damage that OG will be looking to pump out at the very, very start.
Axe Rubik is a big deal, so he can deal with the Blink and Enigma. He can just spell steal once to pop it and then spell steal twice through the BKB. So it's kind of important. Axe, Centaur, already talked about that.
Now Enigma actually has 2 of them. He's got Refresh for all.
And he's also going to have an Axe soon. So Alchemist was really close to finishing. So yeah,
Are you actually going to prioritize?
I think you give it to Enigma. Blink Black, from his point of view, Blink BKB Lincoln's Black Hole is unstoppable.
Unless they consider S4 is hovering around him. Yeah. Unless they consider the OD imprisonment as the setup for the Black Hole. Hey, you mentioned it before, man.
It's like
flagging it.
I
there
would
it is. It's S4.
say you give it to. I think Moonshard's even more priority than either Ags. I think you give Moonshard OD before any of those.
Oh, Legacy Mortal now is recon. They only have the keys left now, OG on no doubt. And Newbee still have their base intact, so again, we're going to be approaching roughly the hour mark to try and complete this game.
I think you should get Gary next Roshan though. I think Newbee know they have to take it, whereas OG they're pretty comfortable with right now.
Yeah. But having the Aghanim Scepter on KP makes this next fight really, really good for Newbee. Their sustain has become 10 times better. Obviously, they suddenly killed the OD, or else OD is like, okay, well, you can sustain, but I'll continue to steal your intelligence.
I think Wisp actually needs to stay alive in the fight. He's the one that's going to be talking people off after standing some clips, maybe relocating people out of Black Hole, and he is.
Well, that's not a great Lord Confidence boost at this point.
A lot is on you, Kaka.
I got so much to do with that like this myself.
It's kind of similar to Phaeton in the last game.
Yeah.
He needs to do a lot, but with very few items and just a very squishy hero.
Man, there's so much pressure on both supports. Like, we talk about, like, just Fate getting picked off before Roshan happened previously. Stampede being used to try and save it. A moment like that sort of actually cost you all the advantages you needed going into Roshan. Not to mention being a man down. But the Morphling getting bigger and bigger. A fresh Skadi has now arrived for him. Oh, jump up from Jira, careful. And S4 steals an Invis Rune. There's a little bit more support. Concoction split up. Who knew it? Blinked away quickly. Did not want to get caught out in these fights, but Newbee is still being very visible. Those 2 observe wards. Okay, the one in the mid lane just timed out. They picked it out saying, oh, guys, we realized we were visible the entire time.
If they can't get too close to the Roach Pit, they're going to lose the game. They have to be able to approach that area somehow. Smoke, gem, like any of these items to regain control of that area. I think having another Aegis on OD is potentially game losing.
Yeah. Jirac scribbled out the top lane. I think he wants that lane pushed all the way up towards the tower. Thanks to the observer, Gunstand is still sitting up there from Newbee, and it could just be enough to keep Newbee away from Roshan.
The smoke immediately pops, no kill. They know that one's real, but
oh, S4 double damage. He can look sick while he blinks in. Alright, there's your jump. Again, it's Fate. The sacrifice still lands, but they want to stand deep in this one. No, they do not. That Rubik is dead for a full minute, and they start creep skipping out. That's what NC does. Keep the creep waves away, keep OG running behind themselves and not pressuring out, and he knows he's safe. As long as you got the replicate, you're okay.
They have the Hex now on OD. That's a big problem. Very, very big problem. Because now, like, the BKBs can kind of be countered. They can just blow up the supports like that with very little counterplay, and Newbee are falling further and further behind in terms of items. What's Alf getting next? Still a lot of gold.
And you can buy up that moonshot if you're looking for it.
Yeah, you can also get a AC or something like that. Butterfly, I think Butterfly's really good too. Because Ursa can't hit through that at all.
And he wants to go fashion on the MKB. A little bit of trouble. E-Blade pop the great attack into KP. The actual principal holding inside the ground. And will it be enough with the BT falling? The Telephone Blade not trying to keep himself alive. It just won't happen. KP will fall in a huge amount of time on the sideline. 80 seconds. There was no relocate save out. There was nothing like that. And OG, they could go in. No Stampede, no Centaur. Or they can take Roshan.
OD is
but he's not up yet.
So much. I really like how he saved the Astral for the Stampede too, knowing that was his only way out. Despite SCCC's best efforts. So now they're stuck in this. They can't even get close to Roche. Like that's just not even a thing.
Yeah. They have to wait. They have to wait for OG to come to them and then get a better position. No telling is a little bit exposed face. Well, he's only ever going to get really chemical rage from that Alchemist.
Blade Mail's a little surprising. It's not great versus Ursa because of his enrage. Yeah, he has it on Alk, and then a lot of the times, like Morphlings will come with their shotgun with waveform, so they're more during the waveform, so you're not doing that much damage. But it still makes them reconsider how they want to approach the fights. Another way to deal to force out an enrage out of the Ursa.
You really need to get some vision on the map. Like their observer wards are so deep on the OG side, they're watching around the secret shop as well as just south of the Ancients. So they see when OG fall back, but right now OG are very happy to be aggressive. They've only got like another 10-20 seconds before Roshan's going to spawn.
The thing is, they see them, but they can't do anything about it. That title was meant to, you have to win a team fight in order to win the game. And when you have Enigma, you generally have the better team fight, unless you have some way to the Rubik deal with it, like Rubik or just stronger team fight. You know, more big AoE ultimates. But
they have like Observer Ward sees everything from OG.
They need a gem.
And they just put their own Observer Ward on top of the Sentry Ward that's already down. So Notel will reveal himself. The top will fly up. SC is going to get hit by that as well. So OG, they lost the vision. The ward was dewarded. We just kind of wrap around into multiple areas. It's a little bit further up towards the tower. KP and Kaka trying to retreat. There's no tier 2 tower to be really protected on. Remember that Agony stampede with Kaka trying to stop the it's into the black hole. We can get through. Just on the team. Take the kill. Yes, he's got no one to work with. He can bring balls up back. Another black hole. You can steal and return. Bring in the damage of the OG dishes down. A buyback in from the Ursa, but it's desperation now from Newbee. They're down 2 heroes. They don't understand Pico. Centaur cannot buy back. So Wukong up, attack the tier 3 tower, take the rise as well. They potentially can push before too far. Nothing in there. Explosion. OG was holding all the Uno will fall out from the again. There's no buyback of the battle. It's all on the back of the ball for NC, but it will slip off his back and GG is called. OG will take the series 2-0 on the back of the Ana Ultra kill.
And now you see a lot of power. That one fight was won, I think, almost solely when it placement of that observer ward. And they were able to catch the Centaurs before he popped his ad ult. And just generally way better team fight coming out from OG. They play super well around the Enigma, enabling both of their cores to shine. They control the Roche pit very well.
Yeah, that they did. Terrific play by OG. They get to take this series 2-0. They only dropped 1 game in their group stage as well, so the run for OG